In this video, we'll be installing the XDR Connect software on the IBM Cloud within a VPC or virtual private cloud. To get started, let's go ahead and build a virtual private cloud for our XDR Connect software. From the Virtual Private Clouds window, select the region you'd like the virtual private cloud to be built in. In this instance, I'm going to pick Dallas, Texas, and then we click Create. Give the name of your virtual private cloud a name. If you have any resource groups set up within IBM Cloud, this is where you would set that. Any tags you could set here. For this demo, we'll leave the rest of the settings as default, and we'll create the virtual private cloud. Now that the virtual private cloud is created, we need to go into each of the subnets in the virtual private cloud and enable public gateway for those subnets so that they are internet routable. So click on your virtual private cloud, scroll to the bottom, and click on one of the subnets, and then enable or attach public gateway. And we'll go back to subnets and do that for the other two. Now that the subnets for our VPC have public gateways, we can go ahead and create the Cloud Object Storage instance for XDR Connect. At the top, click on Catalog, and search for Cloud Object Storage. It'll be the first in the dropdown, Object Storage. For infrastructure, we're going to leave it on IBM Cloud. And for XDR Connect, you need to select the standard plan. You can leave the service name as is or update it. And select a resource group if you have one, or in this demo, we're leaving it as default. And then click Create. Now that we have the virtual private cloud and the Cloud Object Storage configured, we can now begin to stand up the Openshift cluster that the XDR Connect software runs on top of. So on the top left, let's click on the hamburger menu and go to Openshift and Clusters. And then click Create Cluster. For this setup, we'll do manual setup. We're setting it up within the VPC infrastructure using our XDR Connect demo video virtual private cloud. For object storage, select the object storage that we just created. If you want to set resource group, now would be the time. You could set XDR Connect to work across many zones within the region. Just make sure that when setting up XDR Connect that you have at least 7 workers across your zones. So you could have one zone, and then you would have 7 workers. You'd have to set this to 7. Or you can go to 2, set that to 4, or you can do all 3 and leave it default at 3 workers. For this, we'll go down to 2 zones. Have 4 worker nodes per zone. For the virtual servers or worker pools within our cluster, we need to change that to 8 cores, 32 gigabytes memory, balanced. So the BX 2.8X32 will be the flavor that we choose. If you'd like, you can name the worker pool. For master service endpoint, we're going to leave both private and public endpoints. We're going to leave the boot volume encryption. For OpenShift version, depending on the version of XDR Connect you're going to install, you need to select the correct OpenShift version. In this setup, we're going to use XDR Connect version 1.9, which requires OpenShift version 4.8. OCP entitlement. If you already have an entitlement, then you can select Apply My Entitlement to this worker node. Otherwise, leave it as Purchase. And then we're going to give this cluster a name. For integrations, you can either leave these integrations on or you can disable them. For this video, we're going to disable them. And now that everything's configured, we can go ahead and click Create. And upon clicking Create, you'll see that you're sent to the overview page for your new XDR Connect cluster. Provisioning can take anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, so sit tight, and once this is done, we'll continue. On the OpenShift overview page, we can see now that the cluster is up and healthy. We now need to add the Red Hat Data Foundation add-on. To do so, let's scroll down to the add-ons section, find OpenShift Data Foundation, click Install. On the install page here, we'll leave everything as default. Only change we'll make is change the OSD pod size to 500, and then we'll click Install. Now that that's installing, let's wait 15 minutes for that to show normal and ready to go. Now that the OpenShift Data Foundation is installed, let's continue on and install the Openshift Serverless Operator, another prerequisite for the XDR Connect software. At the top of your cluster overview page, click on the Openshift Web Console button. This will open a new tab for your OpenShift container platform, which allows you to interact with the OpenShift cluster. To install the Openshift Serverless Operator, on the left of the container homepage here, let's go down to Operators and Operator Hub. This is essentially the App Store for OpenShift. Next, we need to search for the Red Hat OpenShift Serverless. Red Hat OpenShift Serverless. Let's go ahead and click on that and click Install. On the install page here, we'll leave everything as default and click Install. Now we wait for the OpenShift Serverless Operator to install. This can take up to 10 minutes. Now that OpenShift Serverless is installed, we can install the native serving and native eventing services. To do that, go to the installed operators page, and then at the top, go to Project and Native Eventing. Now that we're on the native eventing project, click on native eventing on the right under provided APIs next to OpenShift Serverless. On the native eventings page, click Create Native Eventing. Leave all the defaults and click Create. Now that that's created, let's do the same thing for native serving. Change the project to native serving. Click native serving on the OpenShift Serverless line. Under native serving, click Create. And then go to the bottom and click Create again, leaving the defaults. And now that's installing. We can check the status of installations by going to Workloads and then Pods. Change the project to All Projects. And if you change the filter, you can see we have 31 pending containers. And as we see, the native serving and native eventing pods are still being created. Once all the pending pods are complete and running, we can continue on. Up to this point, we've set up a virtual private cloud, set the subnets for the virtual private cloud with public gateways, deployed our OpenShift cluster, and installed all the prerequisites for the XDR Connect software. Now that we have no pending pods within our OpenShift cluster, we can go ahead and begin installing now the XDR Connect software. To begin the installation, we need to create a new project within Openshift for XDR Connect. So under Home, let's go to Projects and click Create Project. On the Create Project page, you only need to give a name for the project. You can either use XDR Connect, or you can use the old name, which is the default name space for XDR Connect, which is CP4S, and click Create. Now that the project is created, we need to also set up our IBM entitlement key. Under Workloads, go to Secrets. On the Secrets page, let's change the project to the correct namespace. In this instance, that would be CP4S. Now that we're in the CP4S project on the Secrets page, let's go to Create Image Poll Secret. For secret name, set it to IBM-entitlement-key. Authentication type, image registry credentials. Registry server address is cp.icr.io. Your username is CP. The password is your IBM entitlement key, which you can get at myibm.ibm.com. And then your email address. And click Create. Next, we need to set up the IBM Operator Catalog. This will allow us to see the Cloud Pak for Security or XDR Connect software within the Operator Hub. To do so, click on the plus sign in the top right, and in the Import YAML page, paste the YAML code that's provided in the IBM documentation. Click Create. And now we wait until the status says ready and stays that way for about 30 seconds. Now the status is steadily on ready, we can install the XDR Connect software. Let's go to the Operator Hub and search for Cloud Pak for Security, which is the old name for XDR Connect. Click Install. In this demonstration, we're going to set up on version 1.9. Since we set the project to the name of CP4S, we will leave this as default. If you used a different name for the project, you'll need to select a namespace and select the project name that you used. And then click Install. It can take anywhere from 1.5 to 3 hours for Cloud Pak for Security or XDR Connect to install fully. But in the meantime, let's go to Installed Operators and install the Threat Management module within the Cloud Pak for Security operator. So we'll switch our project and installed operators to CP4S or whatever name you selected, and click on the IBM Cloud Pak for Security. Under Provided APIs, you'll see Threat Management. Go ahead and click Create Instance. Accept the license. Under Basic Deployment Configuration, set a admin username. And under Extended Deployment Configuration, you can optionally enable ROC's authentication, which is the Openshift authentication available on the IBM Cloud environment. And click Create. Now we wait 1.5 to 3 hours for Cloud Pak for Security or XDR Connect to fully install. Now that some time has passed, let's go ahead and check the status of our XDR Connect installation. We'll go to Installed Operators from our Openshift container management page here. Look for IBM Cloud Pak for Security under Installed Operators. We'll go to Threat Management, and we can see under the status that the condition is success. And if we also click in and then go to the bottom, we can also see the message is that the deployment was successful. Now that XDR Connect is up and running, let's go ahead and sign in for the first time. The domain address for your XDR Connect environment is right here under the domain field under Basic Deployment Configuration. Go ahead and copy that address and open it in a new tab. It is a self-signed certificate, so you will get a certificate authority invalid error. Go ahead and click Advanced and Continue. On the sign-in page here, if you selected the ROX authentication during the installation, you can use Openshift authentication. We did in this instance, so let's go ahead and click that. Now that we're signed into our XDR Connect environment, we can set up our first account. On the account management page here, near the bottom, we'll click Create Account. We'll put in a name. We're using ROX authentication for this account, and it will be a standard account. Now that we've created an account, let's go ahead and refresh the page, and we should be able to transition into that account and set up licensing. In the top right, click System Administration, and you'll see your new account. Click on that, and that brings you to your XDR Connect environment. A quick start guide will pop up. You can either go through that or skip it for now. First, we need to set up licensing and usage. On the licensing and usage page, click Configure License Limit. Input the number of RUs that you've purchased. And manage virtual servers that you've purchased. And click Save. And then depending on your license structure through IBM, you'll configure the applications below. In this demo, we're going to do enterprise-wide. Click Save. As I don't have QRadar in this environment, I'll also disable the user behavior analytics. That can be re-enabled later on if QRadar is introduced into the mix. And everything else we'll leave enabled. Now the licensing is set up, our XDR Connect environment is up and running. And that concludes the XDR Connect platform installation. From here, you can manage users, configure your data sources, configure your threat intelligence feeds, set up your case management playbooks, and so much more. For additional information on the administration of your XDR Connect platform, you can head over to IBM's documentation website at ibm.com/docs and search for Cloud Pak for Security. Select the correct version for your XDR Connect environment, and from there you'll be able to go under administrating to do so much more, such as set up LDAP authentication. It'll walk you through how to set up your organizational profile, manage your certificates and licensing, as well as set up your data sources and QRadar proxy if applicable. Thanks for watching.